How do you sort out the so-called jargon from real-world practices that work? Do the members of your organization find some business or technology advice utterly confusing? Welcome to Real Talk with Sam Holcman. In this program, we set the record straight, and in terms that business people and technology people can understand. Now, here is your host, Sam Holcman.
Welcome to this edition of Real Talk. I'm Sam Holcman. Thanks for joining me today. And this particular broadcast is a summary of a 1-hour webinar I did that is titled Business Architecture, a Distinct Discipline, Not a Subset of Enterprise Architecture. This topic is extremely important. For those of you that believe it is part of an enterprise architecture, I hope this short broadcast, and then, of course, our longer form broadcast that's available on our Business Architecture Center of Excellence, BACOE.org website, no cost, you can take a look at it or download it, will give you more insight. That thinking goes back to the 1990s, when a lot of this was first developed without a consistent and robust frame of reference. Business architecture is part of the enterprise, not part of enterprise architecture. This is a key difference. Let's use an analogy, as I always like to use. You're building a house. You have a plumbing drawing. You have an electrical drawing. You have a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning drawing. You have a structural drawing. Now, the plumbing drawing isn't part of the electrical drawing. The electrical drawing isn't part of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning drawing. And this is the same fundamental misunderstanding we have about business architecture and some of the 1990s thinking about these cascading architectures. They're not cascading, they're different. They have different audiences, they have different meanings, they have different requirements that are there. So enterprise architects, business architects, data architects, service-oriented architects, cloud architects, information architects, technology architects. Oh my, how many more architects in an enterprise can you label? Well, if you go to a so-called search engine called Google, 11,400,000 entries just for the term enterprise architecture alone. Of course, we know that the correct definition is 8,457,394. I'm just kidding, of course. Not much help when you have 11 million entries. Perhaps you look at the definition on the first page of your favorite, quote, search engine, unquote. Perhaps you're experiencing confirmation bias or really, really legacy thinking. Let us get through this madness a little bit in this short broadcast to give you an understanding of what this is about and why they're distinct disciplines. They are parts of the enterprise, not parts of enterprise architecture. And that distinction requires a solid, unbiased frame of reference. You have to start with that. It's incorrectly categorized as a component of enterprise architecture. And we hope that this short broadcast, again, coupled with our longer broadcast that you can take a look at, brings this understanding to play. Because this is vital as business becomes more and more dependent on not only writing code, as IT used to be called, but enabling the business strategy. Business architecture is the enabler of business strategy and has a relationship to enterprise architecture and technology architecture and information architecture. But it is not part of it. And it's not a silo I'm talking about. Just like the plumbing is not a silo drawing of the electrical, is not a silo drawing of the carpentry or the structural artifacts for the architecture. They're different. And all together, you get the holistic view. So business architecture develops a shared future business vision, defining and prioritized essential capabilities, not declaring capabilities, but defining and prioritizing and developing capabilities. And of course, facilitating organizational movement A phrase that's sometimes commonly used still today is transformation. While related to enterprise architecture, it's an independent discipline with its own methodologies, own focus areas, and own objectives. It emphasizes strategic alignment, ensuring business strategies and information technology initiatives are in sync. Business architecture develops capabilities, identifies the core organizational competencies, and of course can be used for business optimization without regard to technology yet, streamlining processes and procedures and capabilities to deliver maximum value to the stakeholders. If we recognize business architecture as a distinct field, as part of the enterprise and business understanding, organizations can leverage it to full potential to drive meaningful change and achieve strategic goals. This approach moves beyond the traditional, perhaps popular view of the 1990s of business architecture as a purely part of a different domain. And this positions it as a crucial business function that shapes the future of the enterprise. I hope this briefing leads you to our website to take a look at the longer presentation and goes into details on why this is so important. And perhaps you'll join us at one of our workshops in real business architecture. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to Real Talk. Be sure to join your host, Sam Holcman, again for another edition of our program. We'll have more real topics of discussion then.